Okay, y'all are hanging in there. This is definitely the hardest one. Roots within roots within roots. Okay, but we're gonna use a similar strategy to what we did in E. Let's start with this first one. Let's turn all of these roots into rational exponents. So I have a to the 10th, and it's underneath a sixth root. This will become a to the 10 sixth, and then that's underneath the square root, so that's to the 1/2. Move to the next piece, all right? I've got a to the 7th underneath the square root, so that's a to the 7 halves, right? A square root is technically a 2. And then that gets raised to the 1/3 for the cube root, which then gets raised to the 1/4 for that fourth root. And all of that is over, let's see, the square root of a cubed. So that would be a to the 3 halves. All right, well, we've got power to power here. So let's multiply. Power to power, 10/6 times 1/2 would be 10/12. So this is a to the 10/12 times, let's see what we have here. 7 halves, 1/3 and 1/4. Power to power to power, multiply them. 7 halves times 1/3 times 1/4. So that would be 7/24. So this is a to the 7/24. And lastly, down here, I still have a to the 3 halves. Okay, so we've got a common base. A is the base across. Since we're multiplying common bases, we're gonna add the power, so 10/12 plus 7/24. We'll get a common denominator. 10/12, let's see, that's the same thing as 20/24. 20/24. So I'm gonna add that, and that's gonna give me a to the 27/24. All over a to the 3 halves. Well, again, let's try to get 3 halves so that the denominator, that's 24, so we can easily work these fractions. To get a denominator 24 here, what do? I multiply by 12. So this is gonna be 36/24. This is the same thing as 3 halves, okay? And then from here, since you have common bases and you're dividing, we're just gonna subtract. So 27/24 minus 36/24. Let's see, 27 minus 36 is -9. This will be a to the -9 over 24. You've got a negative exponent, all right? And we know what that's gonna do. So that's actually going to drop down a into the denominator. And this is gonna become 1 over a to the 9/24. Now your last step is to figure out, can you reduce 9 over 24? Is that a fraction you can put in lowest terms? You're allowed to do that with exponents. And it turns out you can, because 9 over 24, each of those are divisible by 3. So this is gonna give us 3 over 8. And that would be our final answer as a rational exponent expression, 1 over a to the 3/8. If you prefer to write it as a root, this would be 1 over the 8th root of a cubed. And that would also be an acceptable answer. Your choice. All right, our next video is going to go over the last 3 problems on page 9, simple exponent equations.